more to redo the YouTube. Over 1,000. Good job on three different trades. With those PDD call buys, it's still good. Well, uh, I don't know. It's a good question. You're basically at a 50-50 split, maybe 55-45, because Monday morning they have earnings. That's why I did the weeklies yesterday. So I don't know. I mean, I did a two lot for next week, like $700, but I don't know. I mean, the big move was obviously yesterday and today. So not saying it can't go. I mean, you're still having calls being bought in PDD. You just you have the binary event with earnings, right? I mean, the stock's up what, like 10% in 2 days. So can it still go? Sure. I mean, is 90% of these bets bullish? Sure. But it is a China ADR, which I mean, I never really trust the ADRs for earnings.
It's
So,
never a bad idea to take profits.
like, I mean, the calls are up a lot. So, like, even if you bought September calls, I mean, you're probably up 50+% today. So, I don't know. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's bad. I mean, I think it's 60-40. But you do have to understand it ran so much so quickly that there can only be so much juice in the lemon. You know what I mean? A couple other names that look good from this morning. BE, that one had a huge run. BE, small caps. And then Chewy, those calls doubled in the weeklies from this morning from where we did it, the live scanner training. I couldn't get filled on the weeklies. So I did the next week's and made $400 in like 30 minutes. What else looked really good today? Mm,
Amazon,
yeah, Tesla was real good. Added a lot
Tesla.
to that. You know, what is everyone else doing, by the way? You're still in BE? Good job. Am I the only one that's that crazy who adds to losers and then you get a huge payoff? Let me see what Christian. I have Christian as my new spy. I did lose money on Open Door and then it ripped 20% of my face. That was embarrassing. I like that UAMY, USAR. I mean, there's a lot of good stocks. USAR real good. Some big calls on this one. Look at that. USA Rare Earth. I know. Listen to Susie and become a millionaire. Christian, what else are you looking at? Let me eat for a second. What other names do you like?
Honestly, with this kind of like, it feels like an artificial pop. Like we had speakers this morning, and it just kind of feels like an artificial pop to the market. So I was going to ask you, kind of going into next week, what are we looking at? What are we watching? Because I do see like a lot of those smaller names on the scanner, which can sometimes signify something like a little rotation or something out of like these bigger names and stuff. But I don't know. I was going to ask you that.
Um, what am I looking at?
Well, how do you feel about today? Like we're up.
I sold everything.
That's the boat that I'm in. I sold everything too. So like going into next week, I don't know. It's just kind of like an open bag.
Yeah, I think it's very hard to do anything here because, I mean, like I always say, sell the rips, right? And today was like
Right.
the biggest rip. I mean, I have about $1 million in small caps, almost a million, like 940,000. And today they're up 4%. So, you know, you still have upside though in small caps. So they haven't hit all-time highs yet. Has the Dow? Yeah, the Dow did. So small caps and mid caps haven't hit all-time highs. That's something, so we could look at like USAR. That's a good one. Small cap. What are some? Oh, Capri. I closed some of these. Wow, look at Capri. I closed some Capri calls. $1 million. Those are up about 250,000. Closed some of those today in Capri. Um, what other names? Susie, what do you have, my dears? What other small caps are we seeing hit the scanner? Affirm, right? AFRM, Upstart, letter U, right? Letter U, Unity Software. So, we got some. Oh, good job in Hood. Yeah, great work. So you do have some names. I don't think you get caught up in like, look how bad some stocks look, like Microsoft, right? Horrible. Apple, pretty
I was gonna
bad
say,
still. Does Google hit a new high yet? Yeah, Google hit a new high. So there goes that. Mm, what else? Afram. The what about the crypto crap? How's that doing?
did I see
Coin.
some coin today
Yeah.
on
Oh,
the
Super
scanner?
Micro. Here. Well, that's a nice long-term bet. Super Micro. I mean, you got some stuff. VWE or WVE. I will say though, they are buying puts in like Procter and Gamble, which is the flight to safety sectors. I mean, there's really no flight to safety. You had BJ with a big downtick today. Five below, you're seeing some puts. And what do they have upcoming? Earnings. When are they? 18th, 27th. So you do have some you do have some bearish activity and in the retailers. Oh my God. If this is clean, I don't know if this is clean or tied. PDD. Oh, where's pizza? I love pizza, by the way. How did I just get filled? PDD. I have a PD 1,000 of them of the 130s. They must be doing some kind of call ratio spread. They just bought 30,000 September 26, 130 calls. It must be a call ratio spread because the 135s are half the amount. Wow. Some Intel puts coming in. It's pretty odd. How's Intel looking? I mean, everything's up today, but very volatile. All right, anywho. Christian, take some questions from the chat real quick. Let me finish this chicken.
Okay.
Tesla new highs. Sezzle puts, yeah. It's a new name. All right, Christian's going to take some questions real quick.
If you guys have any questions about the news flow scanner, put them in the chat.
Oh yeah, Micron. That was a good one. What did we see on Micron the other day?
Was that yesterday?
Yeah.
$1 million order.
Yeah, Micron. What else? Rocket Labs. Oof.
Rocket Lab's up
Yeah, that's small
big
caps.
today, 7%.
Yeah, that's a good small cap play. A lot of bullish buying. Yeah, that's a good one. Rocket Labs. Christian, what else we got?
A lot of ticker names. AMD,
No. Oh
TEM.
God.
What are we seeing, Tim?
Tim, yeah, Tim.
Yeah, today. Almost a
Yeah,
million
Tim.
dollar order today, and then a hundred thousand
Weekly.
dollar order. Yep, on the weeklies.
Tim is a Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi
Yeah.
bought it.
Yeah. I don't like anything that trades a lot. Like Intel, AMD, it needs to be over 1 million. Rocket, like Jeff Z said, Rocket up 10%. That's another good one. Yeah. Yeah. Chili,
Yeah,
we already
Chewy's
got
been
out of.
going down.
Yeah. Chili, we got in and out already. Please note, we never hold. When you're up, we were up like 35%. You get out of the weeklies, short dated. Is everyone starting to pick that up here? You buy dips, sell rips, but like, does everyone understand what that means? Let Christian know in the chat.
Something that I didn't know before I started trading with you.
Yeah, Christian will break it down. I'm trying to read what everyone else is doing in the other chat room so we could do the opposite. One person got long Bank of America puts. Oh my God.
When to get out of the rip is a question.
Whenever you're up a lot.
Honestly, yeah.
Or
I mean,
Christian will
25,
Christian
if
will go
you're up
over.
25% intraday on weeklies, like that's a good place to get rid of those. It's never a bad thing to take profits.
Yeah, here's a good here's a good kind of thing. If you're trading, okay, let's break it down. If you're trading short dated, like let's say I buy these Intel puts, which I'm not, just adds up, but let's just say if I'm buying Intel next week 23 and a half puts, let's say I were to buy these. First of all, Intel trades 105 million shares. Okay. It's traded a million options, right? So this trader, they spent 400K on these options, right? 17,000 traded. So not even, what is that? 1%, a little over 1% of the total options, right? Yeah. Like 2%, we'll say. These are $1.50 out of the money. And they're 35-cent puts. If you're buying these, you should be two things. One, super small size, super small because they expire in 7 days and they're $1.50 out the money. So out the money puts, anything out the money, anything short dated, and anything super cheap, your size should be super, super small because the probability of these working out are going to be here, I'll show you, are going to be like 10%. And I'll actually get that for you so you can see it. Probability of in the money. 58%. That's not right. Very, very low chance. Well, $2.50 implied move. I don't know why. Probably because the Trump deal. But very, very low probability of working out. Yeah, this is not a right study. Sorry, that's bullshit. If you want to be conservative and allocate more size, you would buy like the 26 puts, right? Because if you're wrong, like today, Intel's up 6%, you're going to be down 35%. If you're wrong on these, you're going to be down 58%. Now, here's the flip side. Let's say, let's do, what's a stock that's down a lot today?
Chewy.
No, for real. Like, what's a stock down a lot? Let's say Verizon, down 1%. I mean, it's down something. Shit. 1% for a stock like Verizon is a lot. So let's say you were to buy puts in Verizon. We need something a little bit more liquid. Let's say Walmart.
Yeah, these
I mean, we got really nothing down, but
Kroger down 2%.
let's do Tiva. Oh, We're slim pickings today. God, everything's shitty. The puts aren't even moving. Philip Morris, can we get something with puts that are down? Jesus. All right, well,
Type
these
in
examples,
KR. Type in KR.
KR, trying to give you an example. None of these are. All right, here's a little example. I mean, it's still really crappy. But let's say you have in the money puts in Kroger, right? So high probability of working out. You're going to be up, let's say, 24%. But if you bought the cheap out the money puts, you're going to be up 39%. So you see when you get a big down move, the cheaper out the money options pay you more money. And it's inverse to the calls. So let's say, for example, I have open door calls for next week. Okay. The next week or September 5th, let's say next week calls. Okay. Let's say the next week, 7 calls. These are going to be extremely risky, but they're going to be up, or the 7.5s or the 8 calls. They're going to be at 300%. If you were to buy the in the money calls, like the 3 calls that have a higher probability of being right, you're going to be up a whopping 113%. So when you buy a longer dated in the money option, you're going to make less money when you're right. When you buy a cheaper out the money option, you're going to make more money when you're right, but your probability goes down. So let's say I want it to be right. Let's say I don't know, one of these talking heads on TV, like probably most guys who give you trade recommendations, they probably say like buy the, I don't know, Intel. You got some Intel calls here. Now you got 25s because probably the Trump thing. Yeah, Trump and Intel is talking right now. But let's say you're one of these talking heads who usually give trade recommendations, and they say, hey, go buy Intel October 20 calls. And you know why they give you trades like that? Because they want to be right and they want you to be happy because, look, I'm right. And you're paying $6 for. You're up 25%. Okay. With the stock up 6+%. That ain't no money. But if you were to buy, let's say, the out the money calls, like the 28 calls or the 27 calls, you're going to be up 63%, right? And your risk is less because you're buying a cheaper option. So it really depends, and this is coming from a your personality point of view. What do you want to be? Do you want to be right? If so, go buy a deep in the money, far long dated call. If you want to make the most amount of money, you're going to buy the cheap, out the money, short dated call. By the way, some Nike puts sitting here. Kind of like those Nike puts, I'm not going to lie,
I was
because
looking at
everyone's
those
probably
too.
buying it today. And the money puts in Nike, I mean, I like them. So like these Nike puts, 79 puts, they're a buck 30. Every normal person would say, why are you buying Nike puts? Stock's up 3% today, about to break out. Sure. But if everyone's buying it today, hoping for a breakout, what's going to make the most amount of money if it goes down? The cheap out the money puts or the cheap short dated puts. These are actually in the money. That's why I like them. If they bought out the money puts, I probably wouldn't like them as much. So it really comes down to your personality. I can send 90+% win rate trades to y'all, but you're gonna be spending a crap load of money to make a little bitty, itty bitty gain. I don't trade that way. I think it's horrible because it's for people who want to be right and look good and smart. But from a real market perspective, you're not going to grow an account quickly. You're going to be risking a lot of money. And more importantly, you're going to be in trades for a long amount of time. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't have a million. Well, I do have $1 million of buying power. I don't have a $10 million play money account like most people do. who's recommending trades, right? So when it comes to options, you have to be right on direction, right on timing, and then try to pick which gives you the best risk versus reward for that time period. So if you want higher probability, take longer dated, more expensive options or in the money options. If you want higher probability, if you want bigger gain, take the cheaper short dated options and you're kind of going to swing for the fences. There's no sugarcoating that, right? Whether it's weekly options, whether it's earnings, whether they're cheap options. So any option really under $1 is a lotto ticket because the best options here, I'll give you an example in PDD. So PDD, the weekly calls that we got are up, you could see here, 336%. They were up a lot more, obviously, this morning, right? But if we were to buy, and you can see the out the money options are up 600%, right? But if we were to buy, let's say October calls, and let's say the 120 calls, we would only be up 30%. So I would take 800% over 30% any day of the week. So you might be right 1 out of 4, but the 3 that you lost, the one winner is going to make up for it. So that's what I prefer. And that's why I like trading the cheaper options that hit on here and the short dated. So I'd rather trade more and have more positions. And that's the same if you're hedged. Let's say you have puts. Yeah, your puts are doing bad today. But if you buy cheap puts and the market goes down, you'll lose money on your longs, but you'll make a boatload on your puts because the market, when it goes down, those cheap puts explode. So a little that's why I like those Nike. I kind of like those Nike puts because it's something of a hedge in case the market takes a downturn, right? It gives you protection. It gives you cheap protection if the market fades or moves lower. It's short dated. It's going to be very, very sensitive, right? And if you're right, you're going to be right big. And it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg, rather than trying to buy, like, let's say, NASDAQ puts, for next Friday that are going to cost you almost $500, right? And then if the NASDAQ sells off 2%, you might make 100%. If Nike sells off 2%, you're going to make probably 200% on the same, downtick. So hopefully that helps. The hardest thing, especially if you're new, is position sizing. If you're doing, like, let's say a more expensive option, it's not going to be that sensitive, right? Like, let's say I buy uh I don't know, app calls here, September 5th, 440s, 450s, pardon me. They're 1680. The stock's up 5%. They're up 75%, which is good, but that's a lot of money at risk. So I don't usually prefer anything like over $10. Some stocks like Tesla and Nvidia, yeah, you're going to pay higher. There's no way to sugarcoat it because they are pricier names. But like John just doubled his money in Google. John, did you do the weeklies or next week's? I'm assuming. Let's see. Should be able to find this out pretty quickly. Yes, next week. Which ones? These right here, right? Yeah. So like John, good example in the chat says Google 210 calls in at 140, out at $3. Was in the trade 40 minutes. Literally 40 minutes. I could track it here. I'll just pull it up for you. Google popped from 204 to 207. Here's where the calls came in. What was it? 118. I got a thing. Here we go. Right here. Got in right down here.
That's a great trade.
I know. Amazing. And then sold them at $3. So sold them up in here or here, somewhere in here. Here, wherever it was. But, you know, that's what you're not overstaying your welcome. You get a quick pop, whether it's news. Well, Google had news with Apple, but you're out. Those cheap options, the next week options, actually about the 215s too. Those cheap options are going to give you kind of the best bang for your buck rather than buying, let's say, a Google, I don't know, October option. Let's say you bought the 210s, they're costing you $800 and they moved from like, let's say 7 to 840, 850. So they moved 20%. Again, the out the money short dated options went up over 100%, or you can buy the longer dated options, which have a higher probability. They're going to cost you more money, but you're going to make 20%. So in trading, not investing, in trading, everything is risk versus reward. Wow, open door. Oh my God. Look at open door go. Jeez. It's not about being right. That's the hardest thing that people have, especially if you're new or you have a product or you follow someone. People want to be right naturally. Try to not care about that and just try to get better ROI, not be right. Because usually higher probability stuff gives you very low ROI. And then when you get something, when you're right big, like news or something, you're making a little bit of money on there, which, you want to get paid for being correct, right? You don't want to just make a little itty bit of money. You want to try to make it big. That makes sense? Yeah. So like I always try to sell at the open because not only do you get the most liquidity, but you have the highest volatility also. And then usually after the open, volatility starts to die down because the price action goes into discovery mode. And then usually after the first, really like 15 minutes, price is found. So vol usually goes down. Volatility. When you buy options, you want to sell high volatility and ideally buy low volatility. All right, let me see. We have all that jazz. All right, we're going to do something different today, if you want. We'll do two things because I want to try it out. So, number one, if you do not have the news flow scanner and you just want to buy it and you don't want to hear any more stuff about it, or you don't want to hear me talk about it anymore, Christian will post the link so you can directly buy it and have it up and running. To give you an example, once you buy it, you type in news flow scanner or you open your email. There's all my trainings, cheat sheets, all that stuff. But literally, you can click on it and it's up and running. You can make it big, you can make it small, you can put it on your cell phone, tablet, computer. If you want it, just ASAP, Christian will post a link in the chat where you can just get it right now.
Just
ASAP.
posted it.
Yeah. If you do not have it and want to learn more about it, and I'll keep it up on the screen in case anything big hits, I'm going to share with Christian about it so you can learn more about it here. All right. So we're going to do that. And Christian is going to start and take it away. Don says I have it. I already have it. I really like it. So you can still stay around if you already have it. Feel free to. But we wanted to give you guys and girls because I'm telling you, we've had 4 weeks of uh, literally 4 weeks of 4+100% winners. I mean, it's pretty insane. And Christian doubled his account in like a week, which is even crazier. So we wanted to, I dropped everything this morning. We did a training this morning, and I told the team, hey, if we can give it out to folks, the hookup, let's do it because it's too good not to. So if you want to just purchase ASAP, you don't want to hear us yap, the link's in the chat. If you want to learn more about it, stay around because Christian is going to tell you more about it with myself here for a little bit of an explanation of what it does during the market hours in real time. And please note there's always a high degree of risk in trading. Hopefully we kind of covered that a minute ago. We are going to look at the news flow scanner examples, see the terms on the Trading Pump homepage. We cannot guarantee future results. There's no perfect system. There will be losers. And there's no perfect thing that only prints out winning trades. We want to give you an edge in the market. If you can't handle losing a trade, trade with the demo money, paper account. Go to Cracker Barrel, play chess. You know, the
Checkers.
little checkers games are very fun too, and the T game.
Yep. Before I get started, Jeff, he just said he's up over $50,000 overnight on the scanner trades.
Wow, that's huge.
I need to get like Jeff. But hey, everyone, my name's Christian. Welcome to today's pop-up event. I'm here with one of America's most talented options traders.
Oh God, I hate when they run. I don't like when. Ugh, keep
A
going.
man who's shown real people how to capture real returns, 178%, 332%, and even a rare 2,800% overnight.
They couldn't include a PDD in there, huh?
Now, I know that sounds insane, especially considering the ups and downs of the market in recent times, like this week. But this former Wall Street trader has defined what's possible when it comes to trading.
Thank you.
As you'll see, his methods had nothing to do with traditional market tactics.
Zilch,
Nothing.
as y'all saw today.
But rather a unique piece of software that he's been using for the better part of a decade.
Yeah, about 12 years ago.
Already this year, it's uncovered dozens of the market's best overnight returns. That includes a 183% return from FedEx, a 276% return from CVS, and even a rare 350% return on FLG. Now, the man behind this software is the one and only Lance Ippolito. He's arguably one of the best option traders on the planet.
Thanks.
And yet he credits his success to this piece of software right here. Called it the News Flow Scanner, or NFS for short. And that's because it's given him and his traders the chance to profit from some of the market's most explosive news events. Events like earnings beats, earnings misses,
BJ's.
upgrades, downgrades, buyouts, investor conferences, and basically anything else that comes to mind.
Sorry, getting back with Carl in the chat.
And that's why I asked him to be here today. You see, this week kicks off a new wave of earnings events for July, or a little bit of a outdated deck, but and it's happening in one of the hottest industries in the market, the technology market.
Well, you got that right.
As you see, as you may have seen in the emails, tech stocks have been outperforming the broader market.
Very true.
In fact, the technology ETF is up around 37% in the last 90 days, probably a little bit more now.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is due to strong earnings reports. Last quarter,
We have NVIDIA next week.
oh, we do, huh?
Remember we saw a little spoiler gang.
Bunch of NVIDIA calls today.
When I bought those NVIDIA calls, we did see, there it was. The 5.5 million. This was August 20th at 11 a.m. If you want to go back on the chart in NVIDIA, look where it was. I bought weeklies that were triple digits, but these calls they bought for NVIDIA earnings, deep in the money calls, 5.5 million. That gets the earnings next week. It's a big bet.
Last quarter, we saw earnings with Microsoft, Meta, and Nvidia, but that was just the beginning. Starting this afternoon, there are plenty of earnings events to target heading into August.
Yes, sir, they are.
In fact, Lance's team has identified several possible for the week ahead, including Nvidia. And if there is one tool that has the ability to sniff out which ones have the best chance to pop on earnings, it's Lance's scanner.
Oh, yeah, you got that right, son.
It's quite literally revolutionizing the way folks trade the markets. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Here's what a few of his top traders have said. Like Deb, who just won 10 in a row, or Dave, who saw 161% return overnight, or Jeff, who made 50K overnight,
Just just a little bit of a, we'll say a bigger dog.
and Sandra, of course, who had a 98% success rate using the news flow scanner, or Greg, who made 12K in just one day,
Jesus, I'm jealous.
or Brett, who bagged a 900% gain overnight, kind of like our PTD trade. Based on what I've seen, I think it can have a dramatic impact on your trading too.
I agree.
As you're about to see, this new way of trading has nothing to do with chart patterns, income breakouts, or momentum. Yet it's given numerous traders a chance to turn $1,000 trades into 2,700, 4,300, and in one instance, $17,000 overnight.
Woo, son.
And that's why I've asked Lance to show us how the scanner works and teach us how to use it. Given the opportunity unfolding in the tech sector right now, he's even promised to share some free trade ideas from the scanner today.
Oh, joy.
Now, before I get too far ahead of myself, let me turn it over to the man of the hour,
All right,
Lance Ippolito.
let's get into it. I got the scanner up and running. Stick around because if anything pops up, we'll be sure to hoot and holler. Thanks for the kind introduction, but let's grab a pen, paper, notepad, all that jazz because we still got uh, about 110 minutes left in the day, 107 minutes, because what I'm about to share can radically change the way you approach the US stock market forever. Heck, even the international markets. I don't spend time looking at a company's financial statements or technical analysis or wait for some goofy pattern. Heck, if you ask me what PDD does, I don't even know. I really don't. I just know it's called Panuno Dudo Dudo. No idea, nor do I really care. That's because all I care is about the names that hit on the scanner that we showed y'all, because it's a good indicator that what names will be bullish, move higher, or bearish, move lower over the days, hours, weeks to come. For example, let's take a look at Boeing. This was one of the worst stocks in the market at the time, kind of like Palantir the other day. And it would have made not a lot of sense to buy the stock. But it flashed a couple times on the news flow scanner, bullish, bullish. And it was a good indicator that something bullish because we're following the biggest option trades in real time. So people betting hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars that the stock would go higher. 24 hours later, Boeing was back in talks to end their union strike. The shares obviously loved it, ripped higher, kind of like Google that the gentleman just traded from 100% here. You know, they had news with Apple, shares ripped higher and cashed out. But if you waited, it would have been too late. Have you just bought the option listed on the news flow scanner? That was good for 75% ROI. Turn $1,000 to 1,750 bucks. It's pretty good. Not a hypothetical, could have, would have, should have. I took the trade. And that's important because we don't have to bend over backwards. I got a bad back anyways. We just waited for the ticker to flash on the news flow scanner, copy the same option, Don't have to get cute. Just copy the same thing. See if it was bullish or bearish and bought the same one. That's it. Keep it simple. This is not just another trading indicator. It's not just another strategy. It's not just another, I'll use this system. The RSI goes up, down. The sector rotation is this, and here's a good sector. I mean, none of that matters. I'm pretty blunt with y'all. The only thing that matters is real time, the biggest trades in the world by the biggest traders, institutions, hedge funds, insiders in the world. And it's a massive leap forward for anyone trading at home because this used to be an institution. You had to be an institution to get access to it. We worked with the CBOE to bring it to the retail side so that you can have it. And you don't have to pay crazy amount of money for it either, like I still do. So I want to show you how to use it and share it with you so you can do it. And certainly it will open your eyes how money is actually made in today's stock market, not just by me, but by the best of the best on the planet. I used to be an institution side, and I can tell you firsthand, the most successful funds out there are not trading technical patterns or pullbacks or look at this 50-day moving average. Not at all. What they're doing is they're looking at news-oriented trades, hence the news flow scanner, and that's what I do because it can tell me usually in advance which stocks are likely to see bullish or bearish news. It happened in Meta, the old Facebook. The stock was up 152%, and analysts in the media were calling for a correction. Do the opposite of what they say. Please do. The RSI, which I say never use, said it was overdone. The MACD, another lagging indicator, said it was overbought. And the Bollinger Bands, all these indicators adapt to price. So they're all lagging. The only thing that matters is real money trades, right? And in the option market, everything is time stamped and approved by the exchange. And it came across 356, kind of like PDD yesterday at 355, on the news flow scanner. So the beginning of the day orders and the end of the day orders are usually the best. By the way, there was a clear signal something bullish could send shares higher. Sure enough, after the market closed, Meta posted their first positive revenue in 3 full quarters. It was such big news, it was making headlines around the world from Los Angeles Times to the New York Post to the Detroit News to even the Canadians were singing "Oh Canada" about Facebook. Even the Aussies, Aussie, oi, oi, oi. And shares jumped from about 210 to about 240, the largest 24-hour move this year, actually the second. It was a big gap up. If you followed the mainstream media and traditional indicators, you would have missed out. Oh no. But had you bought the same option listed on the Newsflow scanner, $1,000 turned into $4,319. That's 3 times the average salary here in the US. And for the record, it's not just me or Christian, but many of y'all are trading the Newsflow scanner too. Brent made $1,100 overnight. Brook was in at 265, out at 1145. It's 332%. $1,000 to over 4,300. Now I get it. It looks like an unfair advantage, and it is. I mean, it is. It does everything for you because it tracks Wall Street's most hidden option data, in particular, data that often has a direct correlation to market moving news. So when it flashes, when the news flow scanner flashes, right, that's what we want. We just want to copy it. That's it. We want to copy it, which means you don't have to stress about which expiration to pick or which strike to buy. Well, it might sound like cheating. It's not. It's like a cheat code. I'm not good at video games at all. I'm just not. I can't, my thumbs are too fat and the controller. When I play, my little cousin, I gotta cheat. I do. This is like a cheat code. You get cheating, but in a good way, kind of like the video game way, not cheating on the exam. Although I did that too. A way to pass all the frustrating parts of trading and investing and jump right into, oh my days, I'm buying these. Chewy. Chewy next week, 40 and a half calls. I gotta buy these. Chewy next week, 40 and a half calls. Chewy next week, 40 and a half calls. They just hit the scanner. Chewy, next week, 40 and a half calls. They just hit the scan. Chewy, next week, 40 and a half calls. Chewy, next week, 40 and a half calls. And I can't even get filled. There we go. Chewy, next week, 40 and a half calls just hit 300,000. Wow. This is exactly what I mean. You see the time, you see the option, you see the premium. They paid above the ask. You get everything right there. And then I'll even show y'all. Sorry. When I see orders this like this, I got to get in. Then if you go to the option, this is how you can see it in real time. You see in time and sales, Chewy, 4,000 calls just got bought. You see that right here, 4,000 calls just got bought. And you see how it displays it in an easy to read alert. So you know exactly what to do. That's the Chewy August 29th. So now I'll go to my platform. You go to the Chewy August 29th, 40 and a half calls. And I just copy them. You see they're already up about 7%. It's that simple to do. And when I say it's real time, I mean it is real time. Literally seconds after they hit the exchange, it will appear on a trade alert for you to do. So if we look at Chewy chairs, you see how they bought them right here, 61 to 67 cents. And if we go to Chewy shares, you see what happened to the stock at 13.20, at 220, or 14.20, 220. Look what happened to the stock. The stock went higher. Why? Because someone laid out 300,000 bucks on the call options. So that's going to spike the bid-ask spread and cause the market makers to panic because it was such a big trade out of the blue, especially at 220. So does everyone understand before I continue on? Now, they bought 4,000 contracts, over 4,000 contracts. I just bought 10. You don't have to buy 4,000. You go buy one. Christian buys one or so. So they bought, and we can see, here, I'll pull it up for y'all. Let me see if I can pull up the option in a chart here for y'all. They bought, and it will show you in real time, they bought 4,847 contracts right here at 220. See the volume spike here? You don't have to buy 4,000. So if we do the math, and this is why you need the scanner, not just do it blind. So they did 4,847 contracts. Let's just say 4,800 contracts. They paid an average price of about 67 cents. So 67 bucks. So you see that's about 300K. Maybe they paid 66 for some, 61, 62, 65. So when we do the math, you see how that 300K, that's the total amount of trade size. So if Chewy does not rally over 40 and a half, they lose that investment. So then what I usually do is I go into my position. I bought them at 66. So what I'll do is I'll try to sell some at, let's say, 25 or 30%. So let's just say 20 cents higher. So maybe I'll sell some if we get to 85 cents, right? Why? Because these are very, very aggressive short dated options on Chewy. And we saw a lot of Chewy earlier today. No, so all the calls, good question. So you see how it says above the ask and bullish. What that means is when you buy on the ask, you're buying the offer. You're buying at whatever price. You're not trying to get filled at 69 or 68. So that's the most aggressive order is above the ask. It means they're buying all they can. that they can get filled on. So they're buying, everyone is buying. If it's bullish, they're buying calls. If it's bearish, they're buying puts, right? Right. So they paid an average, oh, pardon me, 61 cents. So a little bit higher because the stock obviously, you know, went up about 20 cents after the buy. So I'll probably hold these Chewy calls over the weekend, maybe into next week, and see if we can get shares to rally higher. And I'll start to look and take profits around 25, 30, 50%. It's a very aggressive order for a stock like Chewy. Remember we were talking about kind of small cap stocks we were looking at? It's a small cap stock, and that's a really big order, 300,000 for a stock like Chewy. So now we want to see over these next few days, maybe we get some news on Chewy. Maybe there's a new activist investor. Maybe there's a uh, some kind of uh, earnings report or some kind of conference, right, upcoming in Chewy. That's what we're going to be anticipating, something that can move the stock much higher in a short amount of time. Okay. So that happens because, again, it's market hours. We got stuff happening in real time. If we see more Chewy come across, we'll look to buy more Chewy, right? So the more the better because they want to gobble up all they can. Think of it at a Thanksgiving Day feast. They see that Chewy, they want more and more. Why do they want Chewy? Maybe something on the blue humping here. Now, of course, can't guarantee anything. Markets fluctuate. People can lose money. For example, if Chewy goes down 5% on Monday, those options are probably going to be down 40, 50, 60%. Right? But we're taking a calculated, short-dated trade to try to make the most amount of money possible with the least amount of risk. Whew, I'm out of breath. Man. So if you have the scanner, which we're going to offer it for you here in a little bit, you can take those trades right all day and you'll see it in real time. There's no lag, there's nothing like that. And we've put some pretty fantastic results. Oklo, we had 2x overnight, T-Mobile 150%, CoreWave 200%. So today, Christian, can you tell the folks what we're going to show them today while I turn on the fan? Because I'm gassed. So Christian will tell you what you're going to hear today from us.
So today we're gonna show you how to use the news flow scanner on your computer or cell phone. That's the beauty in it. You can pull it up on your cell phone if you're traveling. I was driving through West Virginia the other week, and I had it up on my phone. So it's a web-based platform. You can pull it up on your phone, computer. We're going to go through what causes the indicator to fire and why it generates an option trade, and then how you can join for today's tech trading session this afternoon, where we might get into some plays. We'll see what looks good.
Indeed, my friend. And if this is your first live training with me, that is me, short hair. If you don't know my story, I started at Citigroup Global Markets. Then I basically left, traded for a fund, made a lot of money, lost a lot of money, made a lot of money, lost a lot of money, and then moved to Costa Rica, became kind of a beach bum, then moved back to Florida and started making some of the same software like the news flow scanner indicators that I use for the hedge fund for the retail trader, like me, because I am a retail, just like y'all, retail trader investor. And yeah, now I trade on my own, stuff like that. Like the markets very, very much. And the one thing is super interesting is every day there's something new, unlike anything else. And the results have been good. So all that jazz. But basically over the past, I would say 5, 6 years, we've been teaching people how to use the news flow scanner from beginners to experts to intermediate and demonstrating how to use it from the early stages to the advanced stages, try to cover everything. And we do lots of trainings because education is key. And we wanted to make it more effective, more accurate. So we actually work with the CBOE, the Chicago Board of Options Exchange. Two, give you all the data fast, display it fast, and make it easy to read so you don't have to sort through, kind of like what I did, showing you the contracts, dollar amount, doing all that, which can take time. Because we all know in this industry, 30 seconds can be a century. And I'm very proud of what some have done, like share 4,600 profit. Emery, who turned $167 to $1,200. Joanne, 5K in one trade. And those are some great stories, but not everyone's finding success because the option market has evolved. It ain't your grandma's option market. Sadly, it's not. I remember the days when, you just had a few names with weekly options. Now everything has weekly options. And you could pair, a lot of people would do like the boring stocks like Apple and it would move 1, 2%, and your Apple calls would be up like 30, 40%. Not today, though. Not at all. Uh, Today's market options are less responsive to small changes in stock prices because it's much more common for stocks to move. I mean, I'm looking at my watch list on the side, and there's about a handful of names up, 8% or more today. In many cases, it's already been accounted for in the share price. So if you watch, let's say you bought a call and stock went up, but you're not up a lot of money, it's probably why. In order to do well with options, you have to have larger than expected moves. Stocks that are making big gaps, huge moves, not slow and steady. Sadly, those days are of the past. The only thing that can spark a move, fast, aggressive move to the upside, is information. Specifically, information that is not reflected in the underlying share price. That's where the scanner begins. It sources this hidden option data that often has a direct connection to the market moving news. And when it registers in the news flow scanner, we have a good chance and good confidence. That's what we want. We want to boost our confidence that the stock could go higher, bullish, and then bearish if lower. Now, after the market closed on the day, we saw Nvidia, which we have Nvidia earnings next week, so be on the lookout. And it became $1 trillion company. Hey, that's great. All because of AI. I mean, I think we all know the story by now. AI kind of changed the whole world. And my camera's messing up. But we all know. I mean, Nvidia was up. All the media was talking about it. Shares were up $100. Wow, it's a huge trade that just hit. What stock is that? BSTM. Here's an odd one. VSTM. So this would be a longer dated trade if you want longer dated stuff. Wow, what is this stock? Verastem. Wow, look at that chart. Holy crap. What does this company do? That's a massive bet for this stock. VSTM. Wow, it's only traded 3 million shares. The trader bought the December 10 calls, 1,600 of them. Wow, that's a big bet. They're a little wide, so be careful. What does this company do? Healthcare, biotech. Oof. So this is a good one. VSTM. The trader bought 1,600 calls, as you can see. And guess what? This trader is accounting for all the call options, all the options. This one trader has made the whole market for VSTM. That's pretty crazy. That trader is the market. So he or she is controlling the whole option market on this stock. And it's a biotech company. I would see look at the market makers and they just panicked. You see what they did? They spread the bid ask. So you might have to wait till they become tight, or you could always buy the stock. But you see how the market makers panicked and they made the bid ask go wide. So you got to wait on that one, or you could do the common stock. Very interesting. VSTM. And look, there's 10,000 in the money calls. Wow. I might have to buy some shares on my Robinhood of that one. You know what? I'm going to do that right now. So on some stuff, the options are wide or expensive. Have no fear. I'm just going to buy some shares. Let's do maybe 200 shares. And should be good. Let's see what we got, 200 shares. Perfect. So if the options are wide and you don't want to do the options, you can always do the stock. Very, very interesting order there in VSTM. Again, you don't see that every day. So when you do, kind of raise an eyebrow. Very, very odd. So those are the ones I really love, especially on a Friday. What if the stock gets bought out? What if they have some news of a new drug, right? So you have the reason why I like kind of those biotech names is the traders using leverage in the options market to get shares of stock. Very, 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 very aggressive. All right, you know what, gang? Here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to give you all the sales link. I think we all got it by now, right? I really don't want to read another 200 slides. I'd rather just show y'all live, full screen. And if you want it, get it. If you don't want it, keep trading blind. So here's what we got. Let me just give you the meat and potatoes, okay? You're saving 500 bucks off. We usually sell it for I think 2,000 or 1,500 bucks.
Yeah, I think it's
And
closer to 2000.
yeah, and today you can get it. It works again, computer, cell phone, laptop. You can even do it literally when you're on your phone at lunch. As long as you go on the internet, you can use it. It will give you anywhere between 40 to 50 signals per day, right? We do trainings. We have lots of education on it to help you narrow down the best of the best. You get the weekly trading sessions. I think you get like a 14 or 14-day money back guarantee. No BS. I mean, oh my God, they just bought more. They just bought another 612 contracts for 175K on that VSTM stock. They paid 255, now they paid 285. Wow. So they just paid 30 cents extra. Wow. And it's yours. You can get, instead of typing in the chat, what's the ticker? What's the expiration? Get it right on your computer screen. There's even a search feature where you can search tickers from the past and stuff like that. So if that's cool with everyone, just go ahead and buy it. I think it speaks for itself. 4 weeks, 400+% winners. Just trade without it. Try it out. Um, it's been phenomenal. But yeah, my voice is going. Christian, let me go downstairs and get a cough drop. Christian will cover some more questions on it. And
Yep.
Christian, take it. Give me like 2 minutes. Let me get a cough drop.
Yep. Yeah, Edward, that ticker was VSTM.
And Christian will post the link in the chat.
Yep. Here is the link. 1 second. If you guys have any questions about the news flow scanner or stuff like that, I saw a couple questions. What tickers? How do you know what tickers are worth trading? And that's probably the golden question. But what Lance and I like, we like to see repeat orders. So if you get some repeat orders on like some of these smaller stocks, like PDD was a perfect example from yesterday. We saw a bunch of repeat orders. Plus, we like orders that come in that are, you know, probably like 300,000 plus. Just like PDD, we had multiple $1 million. I think it was a $9 million order yesterday, and then we had a repeat orders. So we knew that PDD was a good one to get into. And Susie's saying those big M orders on smaller stocks. Yep, the big $1 million orders on smaller stocks is always good. Is there a lifetime option for the scanner? Yes, there is a lifetime option. What you can do is call sales. I'm going to put the number in the chat. Call sales, and they will get you uh, the lifetime option. Or I think if you click that link, fill out the order form, it'll cue you to go to upgrade to lifetime as well. I
If
Riz,
you guys,
we're offering a discounted price today. So the discounted price for 1 year, I think is $9.97. I think we usually sell it for like 2,000 or close to it.
yeah, and I'll even show you guys how much I pay just for the data. Again, I made this about 10, 12 years ago. The company was very, very cool to work with the CBOE to get this available to y'all. So I owe them a lot. Because before it was just me, I was institution side, and a few other people had it. But to give y'all just the just how much I pay for data and everything like that, I'll show you guys. So you can get it for a full year for only, what is it, 997, less than $1,000,
Yep.
something like that. To show y'all that I've paid, I can't even tell y'all how many thousands and thousands and thousands that I have to pay monthly for it. So you see, I pay a lot just for the data to give y'all, and you could get a full year for only 997. So then you'll be able to go type in, oh, look, the stock has never hit before. Ooh, maybe I should take it. Let me type in Chewy. Wow, Chewy's hit one, two, three, four times today. All short dated. Huh. September 5th, August 29th. Maybe something's brewing in Chewy. Why we've been doing PDD so much? Well, let me pull it up big so y'all can all see. I like the big screens personally. Why PDD so much? Well, it's hit yesterday, today, August 14th, 15th, 18th, 5 million, 3 million, 9 million, 4 million, 1.8 million. Maybe I should go into PDD, right? So you get a lot of different tickers. The ones with the biggest orders and kind of the uncommon ones are my favorite, like the retailers stuff that when you have these